What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt.
I'm Shawnee.
Hopefully you heard that. We're doing something a little different. We're using our little microphone here because we are going to be reorganizing our bookshelves. We have recently acquired a few books through a book haul that you've seen if you've been in tune with the channel, and a couple additional ones that we got recently. So we need to put a lot of books on the shelves, and right now there's not space, so we need to make space for them. We're going to reorganize. It'll be sped up, and you might see some sped up footage of us arguing over where books go, or
Not arguing,
what to do.
Just deciding.
Okay, but it's going to be an exchange. We have our dogs helping us out today. You might see them later. But yeah, so I don't know how long this video is going to be, but just sit back, relax, grab some snacks or a drink, and hang out. Ready?
Ready.
Here we go. So, hi. It's been a while. We originally were going to do this bookshelf reorganization. We had to break to go to a pool party, and then we were going to come back and finish it, record it, edit it, and all that, and it was going to be up in a couple of days after we recorded it. But that didn't happen, obviously.
That was in July.
I think it was like the first weekend in July.
It is now November 5th.
Whoops, indeed. So we just kind of wanted to make a video and just kind of recap what the last few months has been for us, why we haven't been uploading, our plans for the rest of the year, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, we haven't really uploaded because a combination of the videos started to feel like work, and we want to do this for fun. We want this to be a hobby and we want to enjoy it, but the editing process and the recording process, coming up with ideas and all that started to feel like work. It all just started to feel like a second job. And I know that that is possible that this could become income for us, but for now we just want it to be a fun thing that we do. And I kind of take full blame for that because I was the one editing the videos, and that's like the most work part of it. And I just wasn't enjoying it, so I kind of stopped.
But yeah, we've also had some new obsessions. First, it started off with around the same time that Matt was having the feelings that, editing videos started to feel more like work than it was fun. We got into Magic the Gathering. Matt played it back in high school. Anyways, we started playing and collecting Magic the Gathering cards. They're behind Matt. We even have fancy, cute little cases for them and everything. It's actually a lot of fun. Whenever Matt asked if I would get a deck and play against him so he could practice and stuff before he went to go play against other people, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll help him and play against him. I like playing games, thinking that I would just do that at home a couple of times, but I had so much fun playing it. I ended up going to the local game store and playing against other people too. And we would play every single night after work, and it was just so much fun.
It's all that we ever thought about for the whole month of August. Yeah?
Yeah.
The end of July and the rest of August, it was just all obsessed over Magic the Gathering. That was all consuming our minds and everything. We didn't think about anything else, especially reading. And then now our obsession has become board games. We've been playing so many board games. But more than just your Monopoly or Life or Sorry or anything.
So much fun.
So many newer, cooler board games like Root or Fort or Scythe is becoming a big favorite for us. And so, again, that is taking away from our reading. But we have still been reading at least a little bit.
Yeah.
So since our last video on June 6th, I have read 7 books, 5 of which are manga, and 2 literary fiction books.
And I have read 20 books, 14 of which are novels, and 6 of them are manga. And on here, I have Spy Family Volume 1, 2, 3, and 4 back to back to back. And I'm pretty sure Volumes 1 through 3, I read back to back to back in one night while you were in here playing a video game. And I was just laying on the couch, and I just went through all of them and then just passed out on the couch. And then I read the next volume the next day during lunch at work. I was just like, this is so cute. And it is.
Yeah, Spy Family is great. We both really enjoy that. So some of my favorites that I've read since our last video is Frederick Bachman's A Man Called Ove. That book wrecked me.
Yeah.
It was wow. I've never cried reading a book, and I could not stop crying when I finished this book. I remember when I finished it, Shawnee had already gone to sleep, like lights out, and I was reading it before I went to sleep that night. And when I finished the book, I was sobbing so uncontrollably that I woke her up.
That was really sad.
And the book it's just so amazing. I need to do a dedicated review for that. So that'll be coming eventually. I'm not going to make any promises as to when it's going to come.
Eventually.
Given our upload schedule, I'm not going to make any promises. And then Spy Family, of course. And then one of my latest favorites is called Uzumaki by Junji Ito. It's a horror manga. I wanted to read a couple books for spooky season, and this was at the top of my list. And it's a story about a town that is haunted by spirals. That's like cursed by spirals, and we follow one main character and the people around her and the town as a whole. And I mean, it's not necessarily like one story, but it is. And you'll have to read it to find out what I mean by that. But the art is so horrific and amazing, and just like it makes you feel so gross, but yet so enthralled by the art. And I don't know how else to describe it. Like I showed Shawnee a couple of pictures, and she was grossed out and didn't want to see it. I couldn't take my eyes off of the book. I blew through this thing. It's
not for me.
It's so good. If you're into horror, or if you're into manga in general, or just like good stories, I would definitely recommend it.
Obscure mentality.
It's very, it's out there, and it's very heavy on body horror. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue for anybody, but just keep that in mind. But it was so good. I loved it so much. I'll probably reread it next year. And I want to read so much more Junji Ito. Just yesterday, we were at the bookstore looking at his table, and I decided to get a different manga because of money. But I'll definitely be reading more Junji Ito. But all of the books that I've read since our last upload are The Titan's Curse, which is the third book in the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan, the third volume of Berserk, volumes 4 and 5 of Spy Family, A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman, Uzumaki by Junji Ito, and the first 3 and 1 of the Full Metal Alchemist series.
Yeah, like I said, some of my favorites were the Spy Family mangas that I read, but I also really enjoyed starting the Greenbone saga, which is the first book is Jade City, and then the second one is Jade War, and so I want to read the third one before the end of the year. But I read those two since June, but my full reading list since our last upload was A Feast for Crows, which is the fourth book in A Song of Ice and Fire series, A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, which is the third book of A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I read Daisy Jones and the Six, and I don't know why I didn't mention this as one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite books that I read all year. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's so much fun. I just want everybody to read this book. I want you to read this book.
I probably will.
It's about musicians in the 70s, and it's set up by like an interview process kind of thing, and so it's like written totally different than any other.
I'm really, really big into music, and so I think that's a big reason that she wants me to read it.
Yeah, I'm not like as big into music as you are. Just kind of casually listen sometimes. I don't even listen to music every day, but love that book. So I also read A Court of Frost and Starlight, which is a little novella. It's titled number 3.1 of the Court and Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. Jade City, which is the first book of the Greenbone saga by Fonda Lee. A Dance with Dragons, which is the fifth book of A Song in Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, which is the third book in the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. Spy Family, volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which I just recently finished this week. Jade War, which is the second book of the Greenbone saga by Fonda Lee. Tokyo Ever After, which is a really cute YA, like, it's kind of like Princess Diary vibes, if you remember that movie or if you ever read the book. More of a modern telling of that, just with the Tokyo point of view. Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, which is so cute. I can't wait to read more of those books. Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. Orange, Volume 2, which is a manga. Legendborn by Tracy Dion. And then, like I said, Spy Family 5.
So yeah, she's read quite a few books since the last time that we posted a video. So right now, our totals for the year, I'm at 23.
I'm at 32.
Is it 32? My goal was 30. I don't know that I'll be able to get it. Maybe if I just power through some manga, I'll be able to get there.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the year, my goal is to finish Shadow of the Gods, and I also want to read The Road by Cormac McCarthy, and then I have a couple more volumes of manga that I want to get through, like the next 3-in-1 for Full Metal Alchemist, so that'll be volumes 4, 5, and 6. I want to get through at least one more Spy Family, maybe 2, and then one more volume of Berserk. I think that'll be enough for the rest of the year.
Yeah, these next 2 months, November, December just fly by for some reason. I mean, because there's just always a lot going on with Thanksgiving and Christmas, it seems like. But yeah, for the rest of the year, I'm currently reading Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. We're both reading The Final Empire, which is the first book of the Mistborn Era 1 trilogy.
Forgot about that one.
So we're both almost done with that. We have about a third of it left each, I think. I want to finish reading the Greenbone Saga. So I have Jade Legacy to read. And then if I can, I'd like to read Babel by R.F. Kuang, because that came out this year. For some reason, I feel pressured to read it this year. But if I start it at the beginning of next year, that's fine. Matt assured me that I'll live through it. But I don't know. We'll see. First, I want to shore up some of the series that I haven't finished, like Rainbow Saga, and maybe A Court of Thorns and Roses. There's the Court of...
Silver Flames?
A Court of Silver Flames, yeah. I've been on the fence about reading that one because
it's known as like the spiciest one of the whole series.
And I'm not a spice reader, but I've been thinking, I was like, I can skim over those parts and see if there's any important dialogue for the characters. But I know that there's a lot of combat training for this character. It's from a new character's point of view. So she learns combat. She has a lot of like self-discovery, which I really want. And then there's a new relationship that blooms out of that, which is why the spice. But like, I want all of those parts without having to read all the other parts. So we'll see if I'm able to skip over it and still be able to enjoy the book good enough. So I'll let you know, because I loved the rest of the books.
So yeah, that's where we've been. That's our plan for the rest of the year. Again, I'm not going to commit to uploading any more videos. But in this moment, I will say that I want to. We both want to continue this and pick this back up and continue this hobby, because we do enjoy it.
We love reading. Obviously, we're still reading.
We love talking about the books that we read. And this just gives us an avenue to do that. And so, yeah, more videos will come. I just can't commit to an upload schedule, which I know is algorithm like sins, but whatever. It's fine.
We do what we want.
So if you made it this far in the video, thanks so much for watching. If you are not already, we would really appreciate it if you would go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us. It's going to allow you to be more engaged with this conversation, and yeah, you'll be notified, or you can be notified whenever we upload a video. And because there's not an upload schedule, that might help. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.